This is an example of the viewRename command for Revit Workflow version 2.0. I've got a copy of Revit's Advanced Sample Project open in 2012 here. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to go to Settings and viewRename. This brings up my viewRename settings dialog box. You can see at the top here I've got 3 tabs: Elevation, Sections, and Callouts. Each of these defines some naming standards here. So what I've got by default is interior elevation and building elevation. These are based on Revit's default naming. When you go into Revit in a default project and start placing an elevation, you've got building elevation and interior elevation. That's simply what those defaults are. So if you've got an office standard where you've got different types of views, maybe casework elevations, you've got several types of interior elevations, finish elevations, whatever. However those are named, you need to type in those names in here exactly as they are in the Revit project. The second part of these definitions here is the naming standard. What this is, it allows you to type in any text that you want, and as well as some placeholders. Anything within these squiggle brackets is considered a placeholder. You can see down here what these placeholders means. There's 5 of them. There's the room name, the room number, the direction the view is facing, the level the view it's on, the horizontal and the vertical grid that's within the view. So all I do is type in how I want that naming convention to be. So in the case of this, I want interior elevations to say the word elevation just as I typed it, and then place the room name, a dash, the room number, and the direction that the room is facing. For building elevations, I just want to put the direction and then the word elevation, so like north elevation, west, east, south, etc. Okay, and so like I said, I can have up to 5 of these for each type here. Lastly, I've got a view template option. This will give me a list of all the view templates in my project, and this is how I can set by default. Maybe I want this interior elevation to apply the architectural elevation view template, or whatever you have as your office standard. I can also set this to none to say I don't want it to mess with the view template, just leave it alone, let me do that on my own. If you don't want viewRename to do anything with that, it won't. So setting it to none will do that, set it to architectural elevation will set it to that. And then the last setting down here is the room name format. That's just a casing for standard. You can have it automatically change the name to lowercase, automatically change it to uppercase, or just leave it in the same type of casing that it is. So when it pulls like a room name or something like that, it can automatically uppercase, automatically lowercase, or automatically or not automatically do anything, leave it unchanged. Okay, so that's my sections. You will also notice that callouts are just a little bit different than normal elevations and sections. They are by what's in the view, not by the actual name. It is like if there's a column in the view, it's called an enlarged column plan with the grid lines is how it's set up by default. Same with ramps, restroom, stairs, and then default is if it doesn't find those other things within the view. Okay, so that's my viewRename settings. In order to use viewRename, you can see this in this project. I've got Cafeteria 121 here. This view is just called Elevation 1A. It's what Revit defaults to, but it's just not easy to find. It's not intuitive. It doesn't tell you anything about it, and it's probably not to anybody's office standard. So once you set up viewRename, all we have to do is say viewRename existing view. It's going to put me into the command, and it's going to ask me for a view to select. I can see I can mouse over that and click. And once I do that, it brings up the main viewRename dialog box, preset to what viewRename thinks that the name should be based on what I've done before. So it's saying this view is in the cafeteria, room number 121, facing north. On the entry level, the grids that it's finding are 1.1 and A. Some of these are irrelevant based on our naming convention, but they're still shown here. I can change these if I want to, but as you can see, it's showing the existing view name as Elevation 1A. which is correct. That's what it's called. It's saying the word elevation, which I told it to, the room name cafeteria dash the room number and the direction it's facing. So elevation cafeteria 121 north. It's also got my view template option that I can override here if I want. Now this, like I said, I can just hit OK and it'll rename it like this. I can also, if I care to, I can type anything I want in here. You know, make it more whatever I want to do. If I want to add some text to it, if I want to change some parts, I can type whatever I want. I can, if this for some reason is wrong, I can change these options manually. I can also override the view template manually. Most of the time, like I said, that's not necessary if you set your conventions right. It's just a click OK and go. However, that's all available if you want it. So as long as this is okay, if I get it how I want it, and just click OK. You can see I'm still in this command, so I can click as many views as I want to. If I've got all 4 elevations around here, I could just click 1, click 2, click 3, click 4, and rename them all. And instead, I just want to do that one here, so I'm going to hit escape to get out of the command. And you can see down here I've got elevation cafeteria 121 north. It's renamed per my standard. So like I said, I went through a lot of steps of explaining there, but really it's generally a one click and then click OK, and your views are renamed to standard. They'll stack per your standards in the project browser. They'll be findable, everything else without the worry of going back into the project browser to find it, or find it here and find the name in here and then figure out what the Office standard is, etc., etc., etc. So that's how you use viewRename. Thank you.